everyone. Um, how's life? It's a Swiss day, Switzerland day, the official day of the rise of the Swiss release. But before we get to that, let me tell you a couple of very important things. We've just had the final of the Eurovision Song Contest, so I want to officially thank the countries of Albania, Slovenia, Spain, Estonia, Montenegro, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia for voting 10 or 12 points to Italy. Unfortunately, we just came sixth in the end. I have to say that David Sherrock, our very good and famed expert of Eurovision shards, said from the very first moment he listened to the song from the UK, said this one has good chances of winning. So shards, you were right. I have to admit you're right. You're not always right, very seldom, but this time you were properly right. So kudos to you. And you also said that the Italian song didn't have that many chances, not because we won last year, but because it wasn't a Eurovision prone song. So all good for you of making the right, experts choices. You were right. So again, thank you to all these countries for voting us. I have to say that if you guys want to go to these countries for a holiday, I recommend these countries. Of course, come to Italy if you want. But this was the big event of the week last week. We went there. It was amazing, an amazing show, and we were proud Europeans for a day, which is great. Lots of very good music, lots of very good stuff happening. So great stuff. Switzerland only gave us 8 points, so that's why they get a mention only after 5 minutes of tea time today. Of course, in 2 days it's my birthday, so just if you want to sort of throw some presents at the Italian office, just feel free, welcome to send us over goods. And Edmond, you can avoid doing that because of course you just offered some sweets and some nice crisps as well. So that's great. But if you guys want to send any goods, let's do it. And next week is also release week of Top Gun Maverick, which is the most anticipated movie of the year so far. That's another very important one. I can see Star Wars underwear. Mordante, I have to think about what is happening with you. You want to see me in a swimsuit, Star Wars underwear. I think there's something going on here. I am a bit scared, I have to say. So today I prefer that you play Rise of the Swiss for like a couple of hours, and send me some Star Wars underwear maybe in a few years' time. There's a theme. Yes, there's definitely a theme. Hello, Annie. All right. So as I was saying, today is the release day for Field of Glory, Rise of the Swiss. Now, you have to imagine this. I mean, Field of Glory started kind of a long time ago. We started as Slitherine. We started it as a board war game with minis and such. It became vast. It quickly became the most played ancient board war game played out there. It's not anymore. It's the time goes by and all sorts of things happen, and now people play Art de la Guerre and still back to. Some people play Field of Glory still. Some people play DBMM, but it became sort of a standard by that time, and Richard Bodley Scott and all the other writers of the rules, went on to sort of do something else, and after all these years working with RBS on these great games, it's an honor. It's a hardcore war game disguised in a very nice looking setting and pretty graphics and so on. But all in all, this is a hardcore war game, and making these hardcore war games is what we have always been doing, and having these games played by tens of thousands of people every time we release a DLC is just amazing. It's just incredible that such a a hobby game becomes just that close to mainstream. It's incredible. Still the rules are just someone comes from outside our markets, like, just what is happening on screen. I don't understand, but still this is a big thing. It's a big game, and we are super happy that we can keep doing these over the years. So big kudos to RBS, who's still doing these with passion and dedication and great detail all the time, arguing about all sorts of historical things to make it play right in every shape or form. And it's absolutely fantastic to see that Rise of the Swiss is out there. I think it's probably going to be, after Storm of Arrows, my favorite of the DLCs. And I'm saying it because I really like the period, and don't get mistaken by the title. Rise of the Swiss includes a lot more than than the Swiss pikemen, and how much they revolutionized the battles back in the days. There's a lot more. There's a lot more settings. There's 8 new battles. There's I think something like 60 new army lists. It's big. It's really big, and you get a lot of new content as well. So I'm super happy that this is not the last one, but it's great to see that the franchise is being brought on for the good. So thank you, Annie. My shirt. I'm very proud of my shirt as well. This is niche nerd, by the way. It's like kind of the field of glory of One Piece, I guess. I'm just trying to see if there's questions there about Field of Glory. So on Field of Glory, we have released on basically all platforms today. You can find it on Steam, on our site, on all the third-party stores. We have a promo going on our site, which is up to 60%, 50% on all Field of Glory franchise. This includes Ancients as well. Of all the main games and the DLCs and Field of Glory Empires, there's a lot to play. Field of Glory, the Field of Glory 2 Ancients has passed 100,000 units for the IP, sold for the IP, which is amazing. Think about it. It's a niche game. It's a war game, and I'm still it's great to see all these numbers coming through. So thank you all for buying the games and such. So take advantage of the 50% discount on the franchise. It's on our site. As my good friend Julia would say, buy the games on our site. Go and buy them on the Slitherine site now. And she will say it with this very calm tone as well. And she will say it with this very calm tone as well. Replicate it in the best possible way. Also great mods for Fog 2, also Chinese Medieval, and just noticed 10 minutes ago. Yes, there's a lot of mods actually. There's kind of a lot of stuff going on on Field of Glory. Richard York is playing Swiss 24/7. Yes, he is. Absolutely, and I've got stuff happening on our channel later on. I'll tell you a bit more about what's coming on the stream later on. So and on Field of Glory, remember that we have just announced Field of Glory Kingdoms at Home of Wargamers live last week. We have been working on Field of Glory Kingdoms for quite a while now. So remember that everything you buy now or you start playing now will be playable on, the battles will be playable on Field of Glory Kingdoms as well. It's quite a long way off, so it's not happening tomorrow. But still, you've got some time to train and make sure that when Kingdoms releases, you can play the battles there. And so Byron, yes, we're working on Kingdoms. We're probably going to hit beta around the end of the summer. I guess that's not going to be a short beta, so probably going to be around 6 months beta. So I'm thinking the game can release probably in Q2 next year, which is great. I mean, it's as you know, with Field Glory Empires, I still think it's one of the biggest missed opportunities we've had over the last years, because it's a huge game, it's a great game, and we didn't really have a way of making the game grow over time. It just stands as a great game on its own, but as you know, these days, the games need constant addition of content and such. So for Kingdoms, we're looking very much looking at making a game that um, is big and also allows us to grow over time and to keep adding content over time. So I'm pretty excited about it. And of course, as you know, Field of Glory is one of our internal IPs. We own it. We want to make it bigger and bigger over time. Epsom is truly the jewel in the English crown. What was it all about? I'd love to go down to the Slitherine UK office at some point. Yogdog, you are more than welcome to join us at the office in Epsom. I wouldn't say that Epsom is truly the jewel in the English crown, but I don't have many comparisons. So I would say that, go with Shard's suggestion. Each Shards can do the tourist information office. But make sure you go in the spring, and there's a lot happening, and countryside is great. We have also opened 2 new Field of Glory tournaments, of course. Make sure that you subscribe to these. Field of Glory tournaments are always the most played, of course. This is basically down to the fact that the game very much comes from a background of being a board war game. So it's its heritage. Basically, there's a lot of people in the community, who were playing, the Field of Glory minis, and now are playing the digital version. So a lot of these guys you will find in the battlefield, on the tournaments. As you know, the tournaments are pretty long as well. So make sure I think it's a 3 rounds tournaments we're launching. So it's kind of the same structure of a board tournament, of a board war game tournament, or a wargaming tournament. You'll find the same structure there. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. Right. So I'm also picking up some questions there, because I've seen there were questions about Battle Sector. There are announcements on Battle Sector, not today. We have announcements on Battle Sector coming beginning of June. Actually, I think end of May, beginning of June now. We're preparing all the materials to announce a lot of new stuff in Battle Sector. Battle Sector is still, is probably our jewel in the crown right now. It's the game that's most played, the most, the top selling one, and so on. We're super happy about how it's going, and we've got more in house. So the guys at Black Lab Games have been working on a number of things. As you know, Planetary Supremacy was the start of something new, a new game mode. We wanted to release it, get your feedback. We got a lot of feedback from you guys, not always super positive, but we're ready to work on that stuff. So there's going to be announcements on how we plan to develop the Planetary Supremacy mode. There's going to be announcements on all sorts of other things, stuff that you probably expect, and some stuff that you certainly don't expect. So there's been a lot of creative thinking behind the scenes, I would say. A lot of phone calls, a lot of interactions between us and internally, between production and marketing, and what works, what doesn't, and Games Workshop as well. So the game is alive and kicking, and we've got a lot of things coming. So make sure, I think it's going to be around end of May, beginning of June, that we are going to announce the new stuff. This is also going to be not only for stuff that we're releasing in a short term, but we're looking far ahead, and probably looking at what we release towards also the end of the year, and possibly next year as well. So it's going to be a lot of stuff. Constructive feedback. Yes, exactly, Sharks. That's exactly what I'm thinking. It's constructive feedback. I mean, negative feedback is never negative. It's if it's made in a way that makes us improve the games. We absolutely want that. So don't be shy about it. We're good. We're perfectly fine in accepting all the type of critique if it's constructive. Byron, Ancient Arena Chariots, this is buy from me as well. Ancient Arenas Chariots is in the making, and it's 90% release that we're going to be that's going to be happening next year, despite the shortcomings of showing the multiplayer at Home of Gamers Live. It's pretty much on its way to release this year. I'm bound by NDA, guys. So if I just feel yes, Sergeant Zido, shut up. More questions. I was saying, I mean, one of the things you think about it. So in terms of setting, because I'm seeing a lot of questions about Kingdoms and Chariot game, and we've got more, we've got more DLCs coming for Fieldglory Medieval in the future as well. The medieval and ancient settings are always kind of sort of dual, sort of separating the audiences. So some like the ancient settings, some like the medieval settings. It's very rare that someone likes both in an equal way. So, for instance, if you look at pure sales perspective, Fieldglory Ancients will always sell better than Fieldglory Medieval, but the number of people then downloading DLCs for Fieldglory Medieval is much higher than attach rate or number of people that buy both the main game and DLCs are going to be higher on Medieval. So it's always kind of hard to juggle between the two settings, but they both have equal values and how they are both important. So we're trying and make games that support both in an equal way. And it's very hard because you've got a lot of historical settings that are often disregarded. Some things like we've never done an American Civil War game for a long time, and now we're doing Strategic Command American Civil War with Fury Software. Napoleonics is a good example. Beercat, absolutely. That there is the need for Napoleonic stuff. But of course, Napoleonics is kind of very segmented in a very specific part of the world. A lot of people outside of France, UK, like Central Europe, don't really care about Napoleon. Even us Italians, we're not really big fans of Napoleonic battles, although we won quite a lot of these. But he was young and inexperienced anyway. Pike and Shot 2, yeah, again, so again, it comes down to this setting and how popular these settings are, because you play these games because of setting, right? So it's definitely one of these settings that Pike and Shot that it's very sort of the niche of the niche of the niche. So you've got to be very careful in how much financial resources you spend in building these games. Gunpowder games, yeah, I mean, it's exactly what I'm saying, Mordante. Yeah. Napoleonic, American Civil War, all that stuff. Mongol conquest, that's going a bit too far, but I see what you mean. That's what we try to do with the previous games as well. So it's definitely something that we think about very, very often. Fieldglory 5 times in the mirror and Richard appears. Yes. Well, anyway, if you've got any ideas, if you've got any suggestions that are practical, of course, I wouldn't say that Fieldglory Zulu Wars would work, but if there's anything that you think you want to see, be vocal about it, because we might be thinking about it. It's just that level of, oh, that's interest towards this. Maybe we should think about it. So make sure that you do it, because we always think about your suggestions. That's for sure. The other things, of course, is that we've got a pretty busy schedule coming now. So as you know, next week we've got release of Panzer Corps Axis Operation 1943. Sorry, 1943. We have Stargate coming before the end of the year. We've got Master of Magic. We've got Ancient Arenas coming. There's other games that have not been announced. There's some games that you know of because of betas, for instance, Flashpoint Campaign, Southern Storm. There's more different types of games that we're planning before the end of the year. So we've got a lot of these coming, news for these games coming. Warhammer Fantasy would be epic. I'd love to do a Warhammer Fantasy game, but I think somebody else is doing Warhammer Fantasy in a very good way, so I wouldn't touch that for the moment. Any more news, Massi, on Combat Mission Battle of Normandy? I mean, I keep saying that, but you probably think that I'm crazy or just joking, but I mean, we're still testing and fixing stuff on the multiplayer sessions, and it's not easy for Combat Mission, to be honest. Feel Glory Clone Wars, Mike. Yeah, let's do it. It has to be a mod because I'm not sure that we get the license, but if somebody wants to do it, just do it. New stream goals. Yes, we have new stream goals, Avard. Good point. Because we have passed the 11,000 subscribers. Followers. So the number of followers, we set a new goal of 3,000 because otherwise we'd be doing this Slit store update every week, basically. So it's growing fast. We want to make sure that you guys, have, goals, but also that we set ourselves, realistic goals for, adding stuff to the Slit store. So the new follower goal is 3,000, and the new subscriber goals we have put is, so next step is 14,000 followers in total. And we've also changed the subscribers goal slightly just to reflect that, basically. And we want to make sure that we keep our goals realistic, and because the channel is growing so much, we also want to be more ambitious, really. So if you have friends who want to follow us, if you want to follow us because you like a specific game or come here for specific news about Starship Troopers, stuff that's coming along, just follow on the channel, and we'll get to the goal and add the 5 games to the back catalog. When is the DLC for Gladius coming in for play, please? Lancer 34, more DLCs on Gladius announcements. I think we'll announce something next week or the week after. That's the goal we have. Not far. We've got everything ready. Actually, I'm just saying, Adriana's working from there. Yeah, I can't see her, but it's just like I'm almost touching her desk like this, and she's working on the logo for the next Gladius DLC. So no, that's not approved. No, just ditch it. All right, so more. Gamer, yes. Join Gamer. Join him. He's doing Distant Worlds. Guys, one thing on Distant Worlds. Super. Thank you for giving us all the feedback. The guys are working on fixing all the issues and such, and there's a pile of things they're fixing. We're rethinking the whole project in a way that really reflects your feedback. So thank you for all the feedback you're giving us. We know it's not been an easy ride for some, but we really thank you for all you're doing to improve the game. So at some point we'll be coming at you and asking you to change some of the review scores to positive if you think that the stuff has been fixed, because we'll be coming to the point where all the stuff that we've been criticized for, rightly so, will be fixed, and we'll be asking you for a favor. So wait for that moment, because we'll all going to be happier. More stuff I wanted to say. We have a list of streams. So after so this is Thursday the 19th of May. So after this we have Battle Sector Necrons with Sergeant Z-Dog at 6:30 p.m. it's all UK time here, so make sure that you know that. So in a couple of hours time, we have Filgore 2 Medieval Rise of the Swiss with Richard York, and at 8 p.m. we have Yog Dog playing Starship Troopers. And remember, Starship Troopers is just 1 month, well, actually 4 weeks away now. We're not going to be pushing it back. I've been guaranteed this is not going to happen. And Shards is in the chat as well, and he is taking full responsibility for me saying this. The game is not going to be moved by a second. So, and Edmund will be co-streaming Starship Troopers. If I knew what that meant, but I'm fine. 8 p.m. we have Valorant Victory Stalingrad with Exebu. That's tomorrow. Glad that we're still showing Valorant Victory Stalingrad. This is one of my favorite games out there, and we've got big surprises for you on Valorant Victory coming soon. And on Saturday, Gamer is playing Distant Worlds 2 that's my birthday stream, and at 8 p.m. Is Starship Troopers coming to the consoles? No, it isn't, Lizard King. 9, it is not coming to the consoles. We are not even thinking about it right now. It's a pretty solid PC game, and it's going to be very hard to move it to consoles, to port it to consoles, because the control system, because all that's happening on screen, it's a bit of a nightmare. So we're considering a lot of future steps for Starship Troopers, of course, depending on how things are going. And you know, that's not including consoles for the moment, but we'll see how the game goes and then make a decision. Yes, Edmond, yeah, you're absolutely right, and I guess that, you know, most consoles would struggle is also one of the other reasons. There's a lot happening on screen, and the game is the whole game is made to reflect this Starship Troopers feeling, so this sense of the invasion and overwhelming presence of bugs. So all the screen is always filled with stuff happening, and it's what makes it fun, really. But other than that, so Yog Dog hasn't played Starship Troopers much. So, you know, when I'm going to tell you a secret. When Edmund was playing Starship Troopers back in at Home of Wargamers live last week. Was it last week or 5 months ago? Don't remember. He's a big expert. He's played that mission like 100,000 times. So he was always on the verge of losing, but not losing, but winning. But he's been playing it in a great way. Thanks for following us, Skyward Greer, and when he did that, when he started playing, you know, in that way, I was like, this is really good. This is like an expert playing the game, showing the game. It's fantastic. But I'm curious to see how Yog Dog performs, because this is going to be a different way of playing. So more like, you know, you would be playing it, you know, after a few hours gameplay. So I'll be happy to see how that goes, and you know, get your feedback as well. So I hope that you're in the chat so we can check your comments and see what you think about it. That's definitely something I'm looking forward to. I know you played a lot of TSS in the past, but it's kind of, yeah, it's that you get the point, right? It is a game that requires a bit of proficiency in how you do things and play things around. So so for instance, a good tip there from Shards: don't grenade your own soldiers. Why not? It's a good tip. We should probably put it in the loading screens, or if there isn't that already. Is there any special rewards for playing on higher difficulty for Starship Troopers? I'm not sure there is a reward for that, other than I'm super good. I'm going to post this result on my Facebook. But yeah, the game has different levels of difficulty, and you're going to you know, be guided to play the harder difficulty levels, and hopefully you'll be, you know, pushed to, you know, improve yourself and play the harder difficulties at a later stage. Yeah, so basically, I'm leading you to the Battle Sector stream with Sergeant Z-Dog. Before you get to that stream, go buy, purchase Field of Glory 2 Medieval Rise of the Swiss and play the fantastic historical Battle of Fornovo, for which we have some news in the future. You know, we'll tell you about something about that later on, but not now. And thank you for being the first buying it, Mordante. And enjoy the game, enjoy Field of Glory for years to come. And I'll see you. No, I won't see you next week. I won't see you next week, and I won't see you the week after. I will see you on June 9th because the next week I'm not there. The week after is a bank holiday in Italy, June the 2nd. You can browse, you can Google what it is for. So I'm going to see you on June 9th, which is going to be a week away from Starship Troopers release. So have a good Thursday, have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.